The fog rolled in thick that night, swallowing the town in an eerie, suffocating silence. It slithered through the empty streets, coiling around lampposts and creeping up the walls of houses like ghostly fingers. Daniel was driving home from his late shift at the diner when he noticed the first shadow. It was just a flicker at the edge of his headlights, darting between the trees along the empty road. He gripped the wheel tighter, trying to shake off the unease curling in his gut. Probably just an animal, he told himself. Nothing to worry about. But then, he saw it again. A tall, thin figure standing perfectly still in the mist. Not a deer, not a person, something else. Daniel's hands went clammy against the steering wheel. He pressed his foot harder on the gas. The sooner he got home, the better. But the fog only thickened, making the road disappear under a swirling white blanket. His headlights barely cut through the murk. And then, the whispering started. At first, he thought it was the radio, even though he was sure he had turned it off. A faint, raspy sound, like voices speaking just beyond the edge of hearing. The words were wrong, twisted in a language that made his skin crawl. Daniel swallowed hard. He was not imagining this. He checked the rearview mirror. His breath caught in his throat. The shadow was closer. It stood just behind his car, towering over the trunk. Though its shape was vague, shifting with the fog, he could feel its gaze. Empty, hollow, hungry. His fingers fumbled for his phone, but the screen was nothing but static. No signal. The whispering grew louder. Daniel slammed on the gas. His tires screeched against the damp asphalt, but he didn't care. He just needed to get home, lock the doors, and pretend this never happened. The road twisted, and through the fog, he finally saw the glow of his house's porch light. Relief flooded him, until he realized that the whispering was inside his car. A cold breath curled against his ear. "Let us in," Daniel screamed. The car swerved violently, skidding onto the gravel driveway. He threw the door open and stumbled onto his porch, shaking hands, fumbling with his keys. Behind him, the fog churned, dark shapes moving within it. The lock finally gave, and he slammed the door shut. Silence. His chest heaved. His ears rang. He was safe. Or so he thought. Because when he turned to look at the window, he saw them. A row of hollow-eyed figures pressed against the glass, grinning, waiting. The whispering never stopped.